Umbraco family, it's me, Warren, but today is not Hackmake Do, today is Umbraco 9 launch day. Finally, it's here, hurrah, I hear you cry.
Umbraco 9 is here, running on .NET 5, ASP.NET Core, all the cool new tech.
Yeah, super exciting.
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of Umbraco Community Office Hours. My name is Rachel Breeze.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Community Office Hours Package Awards recap special.
That we assessed that we should change in order to still be relevant.
Major investor joining the Umbraco family, and Umbraco family joining the new major investor.
It's actually quite amazing to see how much the cloud team has delivered in 2021. I think it's definitely a testament to how we have grown at Umbraco.
But yeah, damn, 200, Callum, 200.
You don't see my slides? Or?
You're muted. That's why I'm not the CTO.
Try again, Tartu.
Yeah, so there is sound. It comes down that there was a lot of trouble to get this event started.
Code Garden is back, and no global pandemic will stop us this time.
We've created a very special Code Garden for you, where you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show from the comfort of your home.
Whether you're a business owner, a developer, or on the creative side, there's something for everyone.
Welcome and Happy New Year to all of you. I think if you just have slightly Umbraco blood running through your veins, then you might have had a couple of goosebumps during this intro video. Amazing to see so many things and events that happened throughout the last year. Also great to see so many people joining this New Year's reception today. I hope you find your way around our new conference platform, SpotMe, and I hope that you in the chat right next to this window also just type in where you are dialing in from today, where you're based, and say hello to each other. Now, my name is Anders Sorensen. I am the Umbraco Sales Director, and I'll be your host today. With me, I have Tony.
Thank you, Anders. I'm Anthony Main, known here as Tony, and I'm the team lead of the Black Ops team, which does second level support, and I'll be co-hosting with Anders. So, yeah. And
as the intro already signals, then we'll spend the next 60 minutes on touching a bit on last year in Umbraco. But even more exciting, we will look ahead and see what's going on in the future. Now, along with us in this studio, we've invited a couple of good people to talk more about this. We have Kim, that has been with Umbraco for more than 5 years, and is the CEO of Umbraco. We have Ilham, that wears the great title of the Umbraco Engagement Officer, and will talk more about community. And then we have Philip, that has joined us 18 months ago and recently picked up the CTO role and will tell us more about the future plans of product. Now, during this session, we will also be joined by a lot of good friends, community members, and partners along with this reception. And Tony, why don't we see if we have the first one waiting to greet the new year?
Yeah, I think we should have Madsen and Soren waiting in the lobby. Let's see if we can get them online.
Hey, Mads. Hey, Soren. Happy New Year.
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Now, you are working for a gold partner, a GORM agency based in Copenhagen. Are you working from home or from the office these days?
I'm still from home.
Yeah, I'm from the office in a mute box. So.
Oh, of course, a mute box. Good to see you, Mads. Now, do you have any exciting projects coming up here within the next couple of months that you can maybe share with us?
Well, we can perhaps share that we're working on a quite large quite large Umbraco installation, around 150 nodes. So we're looking forward to launching that and see how that goes. That's the biggest thing coming up for us right now. Very excited for it.
And Søren, have you touched on our newest version, V9, that we will also talk a little bit about today?
Yeah, we're working on our baseline for that right now as we speak. But we haven't actually put anything into production on 9 yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, and Mads, I know you're on business development. Do you hear a lot of fuss around Umbraco out there these days?
Yeah, we've had a busy 2021. In my head, I'm still in 21, so sorry. But we've had over 30% growth in our business and primarily in our UX and development teams. So, that's primarily due to Umbraco also. So, yeah, a big boss. Yeah, keep it coming.
Wow, thank you guys. Good to hear. Looking forward to see new stuff from your hands. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Tony, I think we have another one coming through.
We should have Carl Sagunar, who should be here to greet us. Yeah, hi Carl. We're not getting some audio. Let's just see if we can get back on that. But Carl has been is the CTO of Monda Media, and he's been working for more than a decade now with Umbraco. And yeah, I mean, just last month he published 24 Days in Umbraco about how to use V9 with microservices. So Carl, I hope you have your audio now. Could you? Oh, we're not getting your audio.
Okay. So we'll just wave. Hey Carl, Happy New Year.
Yeah. We'll hear from you and follow your tweets, but Happy New Year. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So a lot of things happened during the last year, and I think one of the only thing that we can say, Tony, is that well, how long have you been working at Umbraco?
It's a little more than 7 months, and I just cannot believe the amount of change which has happened already.
And I think that's one thing we can say that is constant. Change is the only thing that we can count on.
Indeed.
And to you, Kim, I mean, Tony wasn't the only colleague. I mean, do you remember all the names of your colleagues today?
I believe so. We have taken on more than 40 new people this year, bringing us to more than 100 staff members in total. We have people working from anywhere. Obviously, the majority is based here in Odense, but we have staff working US, UK, the Netherlands, Poland, Romania, Italy, Greece, Copenhagen as well. So we have really seen a growth in staff last year. And the reason for that is that we want to do so many things. Service, product-wise, and so on and so forth. And in order to do that, we need some brain and muscle, and we have gotten that. And I'm very pleased with see all the talent that we have attracted over the last year. So more than 100 staff members and still counting.
Wow. And Kim, I mean, where can we? A year ago, or almost 2 years ago, we ran out of space, office space.
Yeah, thanks to the pandemic, we haven't had need to have desks for all the staff we had. But we are right now in where we are having this TV studio is at our new location, 25 meters from our old location in Odense. And here we can be together, the whole company. We have enough space, and we also have enough space for people who want to come and work shorter or longer periods. At HQ, we are open source, and we are an open company. So if there's anyone out there who wants to sit and work here, we have a desk ready, available for everyone on that.
Okay. Open source, open office, open space. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, Kim, we also need to talk about, as we saw in the video, that we got new owners here last year. Maybe you could just put a few words on Montero.
Yeah, last year, other than hiring 40 people, which requires quite an effort, and all the things that we have achieved that we will talk about later, we had also a transaction process, and the process took place and was finalized mid-August when Montero, a Swedish growth equity fund, acquired the majority stake in Umbraco. Obviously, leading up to the transaction, there's been a lot of work, due diligence, and so on and so forth. But also after, we have had work on what new direction we are to take, and so on, and in that. And in this process, I've said this before, but in this process, we met several private equity firms. And I'm very pleased with this being Montero, because not only do they know something about IT, but they have, due to their previous operational experience, been in the industry we are in, and we can definitely benefit from the experience and the network they hold in taking us to the next level. So definitely 2021 and an exciting year for Umbraco, and we have reached many things, and I'm very pleased with where we are right now.
So new office, 40 new staff members, a transaction. Our slides also states that we actually had 25% in revenue. That must be quite satisfying.
In order to finance all these things, we need to have some revenue as any other company. And we have, for the many last year with 2020 as an exception, had around 20-25% growth. And we also had 25% growth on the top line last year, which enabled us to do all the things that we would like to do. I'm especially pleased that we have seen a higher growth on our cloud offerings, because that's subscription-based. And as a business, we like that much better than one-time fees. And we have seen a 40% growth on cloud, which is very pleasing. This year, we are also looking at doing a similar thing. 25% growth on the top line is the budget for this year. And as in any other years, we are reinvesting all the money we are making back into the company, into the software, into the community. So we continue by doing so.
And 25% of growth going forward. I expect that cloud will still be a very central part of this and be the driver going forward.
As we will talk about later on our new vision, cloud is seen to be an important driver of Umbraco's revenue going forward. Yes.
Thank you, Kim. And just for the rest of you, if you are interested, then we also have open books, and you can, on our website, umbraco.com, follow up on our numbers.
Yeah, so speaking of the highlights of 2021, over to Philip. Let's talk a little more about CMS and cloud, about how the V9 launch happened last year, and if you have some words on that.
Yeah, V9 was a huge project, like a big milestone for us. To be able to launch all of the Umbraco that you know and love, all on .NET Core, was just amazing. This was a huge effort from Bjarke and the team at HQ, of course, but a huge effort from the community. We had more than 1,000 different unique contributions from more than 120 contributors. So this was a great product of the community and HQ standing together and pushing our product forward. So I was really excited about that. And then with the new cloud platform, we spent most of 2021 on Umbraco 9, the one half of the D team, and then the other team on the new cloud infrastructure. And it's an infrastructure that's more modern, that scales better, and allows us to do lots of new cool things. we've been working on migrations, and we're almost done. I think we're at 95% or something like that. So we're really, really close to closing up the old infrastructure, and that's just the sweet spot between Umbraco 9 and the cloud is just fantastic. Like if you haven't tried cloud with Umbraco 9, you totally should. The experience is just fantastic.
Perfect. And just to clear, the new platform is not just for 9, but also for V8 and taking everything forward. So more on that. And over to you, Anas.
Cool. Now, it also, as our slide states, 1,600 certifications. I mean, that's quite good through a pandemic as well. Kim, are you satisfied with this amount?
I'm very satisfied. We are at the same level as we were in 2020 with the number of certifications. But mind you, in 2020 we had a lot of bridging courses. So I would claim that last year was the biggest year in Umbraco's history as to the numbers and the depth of certifications. Our training team holds a staggering Net Promoter Score of 60. The feedback we get from clients, from attendees is very good, as well as our support and service team, the SWAT team. They hold a staggering 75 in Net Promoter Score. They managed to, as I also think is in one of the first times, if not the first time in the history of Umbraco, to be almost done with documentation on V9 upon launch. So this goes just to show the maturity of our offering, that we don't forget the customers once they are on board, once they are paid their invoice. We want to service them, we want to support them, making sure that they get the value out of the products, the services that they have acquired, making them happy and stay on for longer. That's good for the customers, and if something is good for the customers, then it's good for us.
True that.
And Ilham, what about the highlights for the community, which were about last year?
Well, with all the amazing things that have been shared so far, I can state that we were humbled and very lucky to see the engagement and involvement from the community, staying active. A lot of work, like Philip mentioned, around V9 launch was done from our active community members. The great Unicore community team that has been phenomenal. And we cannot thank them enough for all that work that they've been contributing with. But not only that, we've seen also a lot of great contributions during Hacktoberfest, not only on quantity base, but also the quality of the pull requests that were submitted, the contributions to the packages, all the help that we got also from the new community team, the back office community team. I can only say again, big high five you rock to everyone that got involved. And also a big thank you for your involvement with the Code Garden. That was the very first virtual event for us HQ to hold. And it was a success thanks to the engagement from the community. So yes, we've been quite lucky, despite the pandemic, despite the difficulties, despite the challenges that the event organizers also have had.
Ilham, I think it's safe to say that during our Code Garden, we had 2,400 plus attendees from more than 60 different countries. That's amazing. Yeah. So we look forward to have a new barrier to break.
Yeah, I think we have someone in the lobby.
Do we have a guest?
Yes.
Can you hear them knock? Let's see if we got Jacob on a call.
Yes. So Jacob Cruz.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, hello. And
Happy New Year, Jacob.
Yeah, at least we have your audio, so that's good.
Yeah, audio coming through. Happy New Year.
Yeah, and Jacob, about Struck, the SPIM system, how has it been for you adapting to V9?
I would say we are not that involved in the V9 version because we work on the side of the Umbraco platform, you could say. So of course, from a UX perspective, there has been some good stuff coming up with the new V9, but we haven't had any trouble as some other might have. So for us, it has been a good travel.
That's good to hear, Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, and have a happy New Year, and hopefully
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jacob.
Bye bye.
Think we might be lucky to have Punima with us as well. Let's see if we can have Punima joining our studio. Yes, hi Punima.
Hi, Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you, Punima. Where are you based at?
I am talking from Berkshire in UK.
Beautiful. Now, Punima, you are both a Microsoft MVP and an Umbraco MVP, right?
Yes, I am.
So normally you are quite active speaker in communities at the events. Now, how have you managed to stay active during the pandemic?
So I've been talking to my friends. I've been catching up with other community members, blogging, speaking at events, generally keeping in touch with people and see what's going on in the community.
But all online?
Yes, primarily online. I was supposed to attend the Dutch Fest, which got into a virtual mode last minute, which I was not really happy about. But I'm looking forward to more in-person events this year, and of course, I'm hoping that there will be a much bigger Code Garden this year as well.
Exactly. And has there been just as much activity and events, but just move it online as there used to be in real life?
Absolutely. I think particularly the Umbraco meetups, we've been very active as a community. That's the first and foremost thing that I want to highlight. And in general, Umbraco community has been really active, and the number of people who holds both the Umbraco MVP as well as the Microsoft MVP titles are a proof to that.
All right, Punima, I look forward to see you at Code Garden in real life. Happy New Year to you.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we have Kirsty through.
Yeah, Kirsty Buchanan from CTI Digital. And
hi everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy
Hope
New
you're
Year.
all well.
Yeah. So Kirsty, how has it been with this past year, with everything with Umbraco?
It's been touch everything around, and I'm surrounded by wood. It's been pretty good. I would say I look after the partnerships within the agency group, and I would say that Umbraco, Mike, and the team have been fantastic this year. We've been able to collaborate on webinars. We've been sharing quite a lot of marketing. I think we've both been open to what content we can create together, and I know that that's something that we're really keen to push on, this year.
Nice to hear. And are you looking forward to anything this year with regards to collaborating with Umbraco?
Well, we're collaborating on a webinar this Friday, actually. So we are presenting our story for Bruntwood, which is a rather large property business, property and construction business in the UK, and especially around Manchester, but their story with Umbraco Uno. So we've got the client on the webinar as well this Friday. So I think this will be the first of many. They've absolutely loved working on that platform to the point that I think we've rolled out now 3 or 4 other Uno sites within the Bruntwood family. So they're a really strong advocate.
Okay. Thank you, Kirsty. And
Happy New Year.
And to you, take care.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about future. Now, the first thing that we are going to talk about is that in Umbraco we have made a new vision, a vision for 2022 to 2027. And I would like to ask you, Kim, why a new vision?
In general, it's prudent that you from time to time revisit your mission, vision, and values to see how does the outside world fit to that? Is it still relevant for stakeholders, being internal or external? So in general, you need to revisit these things. Then on top of that, our old vision ended 2021, and it was very much about reach. We wanted to get a million websites running on Umbraco, and we could make a checkbox check mark with that. So it was a very simplistic one, and it was very much about reach. Obviously, following the transaction we touched upon, that also give reason to reevaluate. So the new vision that is live on the website, and you can see on the slide deck here, is us not talking so much about reach, but more trying to position ourselves where in the market, what products, try to be a bit more specific around that. So that's the reason for us that we changed our vision.
Thank you, Kim. And just as you can see here on the slide deck, we have it divided into 4 parts. And let me just read out loud here. The first part is about Umbraco Cloud. That Umbraco Cloud, including a strong headless offering, is the preferred CMS for partners and mid-market to lower enterprise customers by continuing being the #1 editor experience and the most loved CMS by developers.
Yeah, if I'm allowed to put a few more words on that, then it's about building upon what we are good at already. We know we are loved by many developers. We know we have the best editor experience. Obviously, that's been part of what has taken us to where we are today, and we don't want to discharge that from. So we are building on a strong position. Then, as we also touch a bit upon, Umbraco Cloud is super important to us, as well as the sister product, the headless offering, which is on cloud, because cloud is to drive the revenue to Umbraco and continue building Umbraco as we know and love it. So that's super important, and we want to be the preferred CMS. We want to continue being the preferred CMS, regardless of what platform partners or end clients are using. So that's the background for that.
And I could just fill in that especially on the headless side, we get a lot of traction out in the market. So it is a strategic focus point for us. Now, if we take the next part, Kim, that we enable customers and partners to compose their preferred tech stack by simplifying integrations, composable DXP.
Yeah. We have for a long period of time talked about that content is not enough anymore. Once this 15 years ago, when the CMS was born 20 years ago, it was about content, and then that was it, then you were digital. Nowadays, you also need to have transactions and interactions in order to be digital. We don't deliver at Umbraco the transaction and the interaction part. But we realize that's very much a demand for the market. So we need to make it more simple. We need to make it more easier for third-party software vendors to integrate with Umbraco. So it's very much about you can pick and mix your tech stack as you see fit. And some of you know that we have talked about this previously, but actually now we have built, as with Hardcore, we have built a dedicated team for that, working exclusively with this. Simplistically said, making it easier to integrate with Umbraco, whether it's a large or a small integration we are talking about, and we want to go to market with that. So that's covering that market driver, that content is not enough anymore, and it ties perfectly into our mission that it is making Umbraco simpler. We don't claim that things are simple, but we try to make things simpler and building blocks for customers, partners to build the preferred or work with the preferred tech stack. That's just up our alley on this.
And then the third bullet, around the CMS that we continue developing and innovating Umbraco CMS together with a growing and thriving Umbraco community, ensuring there's a true outside-in perspective, resulting in us having more than 2 million websites in Umbraco. So a little more reach, there is more reach in this still.
Yes. The beauty of open source and the beauty of Umbraco is that in order for you to be successful, you need to have this, what is in marketing term called outside-in perspective. And in order to build a successful open source company, you need to have a successful open source community. And the only way you can do that is by engaging with community members, bringing them, so to say, to the table, giving the feedback on thoughts, ideas, products, services, because what the community members, what partners are doing, what end clients are doing, is based on real life problems that is brought to our attention, and then we incorporate them. V9, as Philip mentioned, is a beautiful example of this, that the real life problem is problems are brought in to the table and incorporated in the product and service offering. So that's the beauty of this, and we want to do more of that, of course.
And I guess that also ties into the last bullet, that Umbraco organizational has global coverage 24/7, 365, with the national regional offices covering our key markets, because we work through partners and community, and we want to support them.
Yeah. We have a global reach. We have customers in more than 100 different countries around the world. Not all of them are on our cloud offering, but nevertheless, as this is our ambition, we need to have an organization that we can support across time zones. Up until now, we have covered it out of Odense, expanding office hours. We now have people sitting in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the US, covering the US market on support. And we need, in order to achieve what we want, we need to have a strong organization, a professional organization behind the products, the services we have. So that's the ambition. We continue to build a strong organization that can meet the demands from partners, clients all over the world.
And if you want to read more about our new vision, please visit umbraco.com, and there is one of the latest blog posts by Kim talking about this. Now, we also need to just touch about the community.
Yeah, and so let's move to Ilham about the focus areas for this year. Ilham, could you elaborate a little more on the outreach and what's being done for this year?
Yes, definitely. I mean, what can I say more than what Kim highlighted about the importance of outside-in approach, the importance of having our community being involved in the way we make decisions and how we look at our products. But to bring in a bit more focus to this year and the goals that we would like to achieve as a company, and especially as a company that has an active open source community of very passionate developers, we would like to look at outreach, product development, and our champions or the Umbraco MVPs.
Yeah. And if we talk about product and what focus areas we have with regards to that and the community.
What about, Tony, I talk about outreach before I go to product?
Yeah, sure.
So for our plans to grow in the US, but also to maintain our presence in our key markets, i.e. the UK and Netherlands, with a bit of also focus on the Nordic regions, we want to continue collaborating and empowering our community members there, be it event organizers, contributors to the core, to the documentation, the package creators, and so on. And there will be a lot of work that will go into building the US community, and we cannot do that on our own. So there are plans on how to go about that in a very strategic way, how to enable DevRel activities in the US, how to connect with other communities there that are key to the growth of the Umbraco community. And we believe also that Code Garden, as the biggest Umbraco event, is a way for us to help with outreach, with brand awareness, and so on. So we are still working on Code Garden 2022. What format will be the best, considering the context that we are living in, that we've been experiencing since 2020. We would like to find the format that works for everyone and make sure that we get as many Umbracians to join the event, to understand what Umbraco is all about, and to connect with other community members.
Yeah. We're running short of time, so let's just get on to the product and the MVP program.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
I got that. I'll go through it. And the good thing is that we will do a thorough follow-up with our MVPs during MVP Connect, but we also will stay active in all our engagement initiatives between the product team and the community. So for product, to keep it short, we want to do more of getting active feedback from the community, growing our community teams initiative, and making sure to enable new contributors, i.e. lowering the barriers to entry when it comes to submitting pull requests, starting an event, and any other type of contributions. And we believe that our champions, the Umbraco MVPs, are a great network for us to connect with and scale these efforts. So we want to explore more with the MVPs how we can grow the Umbraco community. And we want also to reach out to the previous Umbraco MVPs, see what they are interested in and how we can work with them and how we can also recognize their past efforts. And I'm pretty sure also a lot of efforts that they've been engaged in. And to kind of like close the loop, go back again to the US, we will be also working closely with our American MVPs, current ones and previous ones. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Thank you, Ellen, and very exciting indeed for the community. And
so, Tony, can you hear some knock? I think we have Harman Visser in our lobby. Hey, guys. Hey, fellows.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Cheers.
Oh.
How are you doing?
We're doing very, very fine. Yeah.
Did you hear the thing about our new vision?
Yeah. It's very good to have a vision, like Kim said.
Anything anything in particular that you noticed around that?
The DXP, the second bullet, that you want to integrate with other third parties.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
Why is that important for you guys?
Because, like Kim also said, CMS nowadays is more than just content. Marketing suites, like that stuff, that is also important for our customers nowadays. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's build a awesome composable DXP then. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Yes.
And I think we have a Corne Hoscom waiting also in the lobby, so let's go over to him.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi Corne, and I heard that you also had your recent talk just last month.
Absolutely.
About Blazor and V9. That was a really interesting talk. So how has your New Year been? And
to me, 2021 marks an incredible year to look back on. Despite all the COVID restrictions, it actually managed to help me take bigger steps into getting involved with the community. I really felt the loss of the shared experience and connection with others, but the amazing Umbraco community out there was still there, even though it's virtually. So that played a major role in my year.
Yeah.
And especially looking back, where I started the year off by launching an Umbraco-powered platform to share my learnings. Throughout the year, I managed to meet an incredible amount of kind people out there in the community, through social media, but also the forums and all other kinds of platforms involved by Umbraco.
I've been following you.
And last year.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, all your recent posts, especially with the Blazor and V9. That was a really interesting article. So But yeah.
Thank you very much. And that was also the highlight of my year, being able to share my experiences with Blazor and Umbraco 9 over at the Dutch Umbraco user group, DF21. It actually marks an amazing year.
Yeah. Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, despite that, we talk about a lot of other things, and actually love to talk about a lot of other things than our products. Then I'm sure that some of the stuff that you really want to hear about is about product. And that's part of the reason why we brought you in, Filip.
Thank you.
So now, last year, we had a quite good release, the V9. When and what will we see at version 10?
Yeah. Well, 9 marked the transition to doing major releases more often. So you'll see Umbraco 10 before summer and Umbraco 11 before the end of the year. So lots of new stuff happening. And the idea, of course, is that when we have major releases more often, they're a lot easier to migrate to, and they're a lot, so we can have everybody on the forefront and always have new features and everything for everybody. Other than that, for CMS, I think the most noticeable thing you will see is a focus a little bit more up in the market. You would say that we would enable bigger enterprises to run on Umbraco, to run their integrations, their installations on Umbraco 9. On .NET Core, it's cross-platform, it performs a lot better, and you'll see some more features focused a little bit around the enterprise needs that we hear over and over again. Stuff like more fine-grained permissions, it could be variants, maybe even a block-based grid, things like that. There's lots of new stuff on the roadmap for Umbraco CMS.
Cool. And more about cloud and hardcore. What about that in this year?
Yeah, I mean the big milestone for cloud in the coming year is a US data center. As Kim and Ilham mentioned, like we're really investing hard in the US market, and of course a regional data center over there is super important for us. And as I'm sure you can imagine, as soon as we have the going from one to many, it's a lot easier to take the third and the fourth regions after that. So we'll be continuing to elaborate on that. But I think more than that, and underlying all of it, it is a focus on developer experience. We want to make sure that cloud is where you as a developer feels the most productive, have the most fun, and it should be super easy and scalable to run Umbraco in cloud. Like we want Umbraco Cloud to be the best place to host Umbraco.
Yeah, and of course, hardcore is our next product, which gets a lot of focus this year.
Yeah, we've really seen a big rise in the attention around hardcore. I think when you compare the December numbers to 5 or 6 months ago, the traffic numbers are maybe 500%. So we've really seen a lot more traffic go through our platform, and that's really good. Of course, there's some that continues to ask us to scale the platform, and we have lots of new features on the horizon for hardcore as well. I think specifically enterprise features as well. We see enterprise a lot with lots of interest in hardcore. Things like being able to have second factor authentication and stuff like that. That will roll out over the year.
Well, a little side story is that 3 years ago, when you were in the agency business, you actually adopted a quite large Danish site built on our beta version of hardcore. So it has a special place.
It does
in your heart.
Headless is close to my heart, and I think it's I think it opens up so many new opportunities for Umbraco to be in that space as well.
Yeah. And now we talked about the composable DXP side within our vision, but in concrete, what are we doing here within the next year on that part?
For DXP, it's a lot about building an ecosystem, right? Like it's about making sure that for those of you who run your business on Umbraco, whether you're building a commerce product or a marketing solution or whatever, it's a good fit for you. It's easy to get in front of customers. It's easy to make new customers. It's easy to support your products, and we want to help with all of that. We want to make it so that when you build your business on Umbraco, it's easy for you. And then for those of you who runs a service that's not exclusive to Umbraco, we want to make sure that there's always a good return on investment on making integrations. So that means the integration should be easy to make, but it also means that it should be easy to get in front of people so that whenever an end customer out there is searching for Umbraco and some sort of technology that they have in their current stack, integration should exist. Maybe sometimes they're super thin, sometimes they're fully featured, sometimes they're owned by another agency, and that's all good. We just want to make sure that that we have an ecosystem around integrations that fits every need.
And thank you, Philip. It's always exciting to hear you talk about the product because there's a fire inside you when you talk about these things. So thank you on that. Now, we love to talk about Umbraco and cloud all the time, but what we love even more is when our partners and community, they talk about it. I would like to introduce you to Matt Hart from Moriyama, and he has actually been benchmarking our V8 against our V9 on Umbraco Cloud.
Hi, everyone.
We'll go with your recording on how this comparison went before we get to you and have some questions about that. So,
Great.
Yeah, let's just get the recording. Uli?
Hello, my name is Matthew Hart, and welcome to my presentation on Umbraco Cloud Water Performance, where we look at the performance of cloud using K6. So, our contestants for this stress test will be looking at Umbraco 8, all 3 tiers with Paul Seal's Clean Starter Kit installed, and we'll be pitting it against Umbraco 9 with all 3 tiers again, and the Clean Starter Kit by Paul Seal installed. So let's have a look at K6 and how we've configured it. It's similar to the previous test we did during our Umbraco Together talk. We're basically scaling so we're basically having an hour test, and for the first 5 minutes we scale to 100 users. Then the next 10 minutes we scale to 200 users. Then the next 15 minutes we scale to 500 users. And then the next 15 minutes after that, we scale to 1,000, where we reach our peak. And then for the last 15 minutes, we ramp down to 0 at finishing our test. With K6, we'll be basically querying these pages. So we'll be looking at the About page, the blog page, the Contact page, the search, and the various blog pages in Paul's starter kit. So what was our findings? Before I sort of get through the graph, let's sort of go through the key and let you get familiar with what the different lines mean. So at the bottom, there will be like a red sort of orangey line, which is the failed request rate. And you can probably see at the beginning there's the little bump of 8 request failures, I believe. And then the next one after that is the response time. So as we go across, the response time will start to increase, as seen by this blue line here. The grey line is our virtual users, as explained before, with the basically scaling up to 100, then to 500, then to 1,000 up here, and then ramping down again. And then our last one is the request rate. So how many requests K6 was able to make over the duration of the test. So now that you're sort of know how the graph is structured, let's have a look at the V8 starter and how it performed. So as the sort of test began, we had a very low response time, but soon it started to sort of scale with the users as the users increased, until we reached to the peak of our test, where we also sort of reached a peak response time, sort of reaching about a 2-second response time as we hit 1,000 users. Now let's have a look at Umbraco 9 starter. So with Umbraco 9, you can see it's a lot more different, where the response time is sort of staying very, very stable, and it eventually just sort of creeps up a little bit, and then a little spike here, but then it quickly recovers again as we get close to those 1,000 users, and then quickly just sort of settles back down. But still, from the start to the finish, it's still quite sort of the same. So if we sort of look at the 2 sites together in this table I have here, we can see that Umbraco 9 gets 1.5 times more requests in, 4 times fewer HTTP failures, and our peak response time was 2.5 times more with Umbraco V9, and the average response time was 8 times faster with V9 compared to V8 in the starter plan. Now let's have a look at standard. So with V8 standard, again, we can sort of see how the response time is scaling with the virtual users as we scale up with K6. And as we sort of scale down again, the sort of response time also goes down along with it. And if we have a look at V9, again, sort of the same sort of structure here where the response time sort of stays very, very stable throughout the duration of the test. And we only have like one big spike when we hit to 1,000 virtual users, and it just quickly goes back down again and sort of maintains that same level as the beginning. So if we have a look at the sort of results in the table again, we sort of get the same sort of differences as the previous test, although in V9 we didn't get any errors at all. So let's have a look now at V8 Professional. So in the Professional tier, we had, during this test, it was quite sort of a crazy roller coaster. So, at the beginning, we sort of had, very, very low response times, and it sort of just started to sort of become kind of unstable, and we had like a huge spike here, which sort of brought our request down quite sharply here, but then it again sort of recovered again and sort of just maintained a low response time and high request rate once we reached 1,000 users, showing the different hardware that you get with Professional compared to starter and standard. However, with V9, it's a lot more tidier, with the sort of response time sort of being very, very, very stable and slowly sort of creeping up, and maybe another spike here, but then it just quickly recovers again. And it's the request may just sort of scales with the virtual users, and we have like a very, very low response time as well, 98 milliseconds as an average. If we have a look at the sort of all the results for V8 and V9 together in the Professional tier, again we're sort of getting the same amount of requests made, 2 times more. Unfortunately in V8 we had 385 HTTP failures, but in V9 we only got 3. So if we sort of look at the peak response times, 2 times more, and our average response time was 12 times faster with V9 compared to V8. So our summary for this stress test, Umbraco 9 clearly wins. In all of our tests, Umbraco 9 had a low response time throughout, so we did these tests twice, and every single time Umbraco 9 clearly just outbeat Umbraco 8. We only saw the spikes in response time for V9, whereas V8 just grew with the visitor growth, as shown in the K6 graphs. And on average, V9's response time was 10 times better than V8. At 32 euros, the starter plan is a great value for money, because during the actual test of starter, we were able to hit those 1 million requests for that duration of an hour, and it's sort of very generous that Umbraco Cloud sort of lets you reach that 1 million requests, whereas maybe other hosting, if you were on like a very cheap Azure plan, it wouldn't let you reach those million requests. So it's very generous of Cloud to sort of let you reach that 1 million requests, although not for very long, because you have a limit in Cloud. So once you hit that limit, I'm pretty sure those requests won't go through anymore. Cloud Features is also just a generous offering with the deploy and forms built into Starter. So those two together just sort of makes that 32 euro monthly price just very appealing, purely because of those cloud features you have. And Starter also just has support with cloud, so you can contact someone during business hours for any help with your cloud platform. One thing also is that database and media costs are included with cloud. During our Umbraco Together talk, we never talked about the SQL and storage costs. We only focused on the web app. So that 32 euro price plan just includes the media and storage cost. And Umbraco Cloud is a managed platform, so regardless of tier, Umbraco is handling those deployments, seamless content flow for you. So, and also have those multiple environments that you get with different tiers. So I know in Professional you get, I think, 2 additional environments, and content flow is great for that, where you can just stream the content from the one to the next, and that's just all included with the price really. And it's also in standard. I mean, not standard, sorry, in starter. And the upgrades are automated with Umbraco Cloud. So if ever there was a security advisory that came out, Umbraco Cloud's on the case to update your infrastructure and also update Umbraco if a new version comes up without you having to do anything. Thank you for joining me during this talk. If you have any other questions regarding this talk, you feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Matthew07. And also, you can reach out to Moriama Umbraco as well with any questions that you may have. You can find my blog at me7.dev, and Moriama's site is moriama.co.uk. Again, thank you for listening. Hope you have a wonderful event.
So thank you, Matthew. That was really some exciting.
Very
results.
impressive.
Yeah, we are happy here. I'm sure everyone at HQ and even the community is happy to see V9 performing the way it did. And yeah, so about this test, what was the effort in setting it up on K6? And when you say you had 1,000 users, is it 1,000 concurrent users from across different geographies, or how's the setup actually for this?
So I believe we configured K6 to focus those 1,000 users from London. So it wasn't all geographies. I think it was just a London location. And in terms of configuring it, we already sort of had the JavaScript set up, because you can configure K6 with JavaScript. And we already had that set up for our previous talk we did at Umbraco together. So we just sort of took that same code and applied it to the Umbraco Cloud sites that were set up for us, and just pointed at it and started the test. And K6 will just scale up over the hour.
That's really impressive, and about what we saw there for V9. And the reason I asked was, apart from just blob storage and the database, we also have our Cloudflare workers, which help distribute the load as part of the new infrastructure. So it would have been interesting to see how that performed if we do that test. But thank you very much, and Happy New Year.
And Matthew, if you any time need a sales job, then I have a vacancy in my department, because that was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yep.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Now, I think we have Carla waiting as well in the lobby.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's a recording she sent over from Carla Santi from Blend Interactive. If we can get her on screen.
Hi, I'm Carla Santi, CEO of Blend Interactive, coming to you from the heart of North America in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Although we've been implementing Umbraco for well over a decade, we recently became a gold partner to really extend and expand the North American presence that you're trying to build. It's thrilling to be a part of that, and we're doing our best to grow the usage and recognition here in North America on your behalf. We're really excited about the new infrastructure that's going to be built to allow regional hosting in North America and provide that added level of excellence for our clients. So we're excited for what's to come, and Umbraco are happy to support you, and cheers to a new year.
Thank you, Carla. And another US-based Umbracian, Heather Floyd, is with us on a call, I think, from New York. Hey, Heather, can you hear us?
Hi, Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year. So how are you, Heather?
I am doing great.
And in New York these days?
Oh, yes, still in New York.
So let me hear, are you excited about having a US-based data center very soon?
That will actually be perfect timing. I have a client in Canada who's really looking forward to that, and we're planning a 7 to 9 migration project for this year.
Wow. And have you did you do anything on V9 yet?
Not yet, but I already have a couple of projects lined up for Q1.
All right. I'm looking forward to see what comes out of that. Thank you, Heather, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Bye.
Nice.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is about to conclude the New Year's reception today. I would like to just do a little poll here, what you are looking forward to the most in this coming year. Please answer that. It should appear on the screen right shortly. This new conference software, SpotMe. This is what we also expect to use for Code Garden later this year. We plan to make a hybrid event for it, and it will, as we plan right now, take place in the week 24, 13th to 19th of June. More info will follow on that. Now, also testing more on this, as a couple of people have mentioned, especially Ilham here, we will host community office hours this coming up Wednesday, the 12th, at 4:30 p.m. CET, where Philip and Kim will join, and you will be able to ask all the nasty questions you didn't get to ask today. Yeah. Now, after this session, there will also be a feedback form, a notification here in SpotMe. Please share your feedback, and for the first 10 that actually shares feedback, I know that there will be some Umbraco swag being sent directly to you.
Exciting.
Now with this, we just want to thank all of you that participated. Thank you for all of those that was in call with us from both UK, US, Netherlands, and Denmark. And I think it's okay that we say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see you.
Happy New Year.